So for me, Robert Altman was the American director, and he's not going to be replaced so easily. There were some directors before, classic American directors. I watched Mr. Smith Goes to Washington last night again. And of course, there was Howard Hawks and the great John Ford and Frank Capra and, and others. But Robert Altman was American. He was germane to the us. To me, the American is that which is evolved from everyone else, as in the infant of the rest of the world. And he was like my father. There was none. I mean, sometimes he'd get ruffled because, as you know, and you should know, that movies are about administrating the time management in relation to material resources. And so if he was under pressure, that could be difficult for some of us who were there. But after picture after picture, and there might have been more. I mean, I wish that there were more, but I'm very grateful that there were enough and some. I really got to know him, and all of us. I don't know anyone who worked with him who didn't love him. Donald and I had a problem with Bob, not with one another. I mean, we didn't get it. And Bob thought we wanted to have him fired, and that wasn't true. But the scene when we're hitting golf balls and the helicopter comes, and where I had come from, I was a chorus boy and a dancer in New York. In Broadway musicals, and I was a tap dancer, so I understood precision and repetition, and I didn't understand that this kind of work. At the time of MASH, the picture that was supposed to be the Blue Blood picture was Catch-22, which is a faulted masterpiece, but MASH went through the roof. I hadn't ever worked with or for Mike Nichols, but I know his work and study him. And he said to me, I was improvising in the Second City. I've always improvised. And I said, well, why don't you do it in film? But it's something a little different. It's something a little different. I don't think so. I think that's an exact. I mean, the picture. I'm sure in 1970 that was not the first time that religion was ridiculed. As I study the picture, because at first I thought we had a great time, and I wasn't crazy about the picture. I'm sure I was looking for something else, but Altman broke a lot of barriers, and I'm not into hyperbole or anything like that. And I do believe that each and every one of us is a student through whatever either level of life or age that we live in. I had recently, I'm not into honors or anything like that, but it's important for me to be respectful, especially in relation to the establishment, and be honest. I'm honest. So I've said that I've been in a great many films. Some are better and some aren't, but that I could look at anyone, if not everyone, and find a reason to participate, because I've lived through all of this and I'm still working. And then I also have said and believe that there's nothing of value other than what we have to share. And it's one thing to share goodness and accomplishment. It's another thing to share a problem. And that once people are willing and capable of communicating directly like this, we could see that no one of us can have a problem that one of us didn't have before. So as I said, this is all about life taking its course. Doesn't matter what grade you get. How much does it cost? Okay. Well, I mean, there were, there were pilgrims, and there were people, or settlers, and people who came in covered wagons. Now with all of the software and all the computers, with that kind of stuff, I don't know, I mean, I saw Catfish recently, and I was impressed. I mean, and I saw the concert, and I thought it was great. I think people are people, and I think that we have a lot of problems. I think and it's dangerous to lose touch of with nature, because for me, it's all about nature. It's not about technology. Well, Meisner, I did a few classes with Strasberg, but I was a tap dancer, and I could memorize things. But from where I came from and what my conditioning was, I didn't want to learn because I was too frightened. And I've just in recent times been able to get under the root of my insecurity and my fear, and also to recognize and accept limitation. I didn't know limitation. And even in this, Bob sometimes would say to me, "Why can't you be like someone else?" And that was the worst thing he could say to me. I mean, I come from a lower middle class background from Brooklyn, New York. And so, no, what's best is what works for you. So long as you can be true to yourself, and if you're working with people who understand you and who you understand. I had the great privilege of working with and for Ingmar Bergman, and I'm the first one of us to have done that. And we just at the Museum of Modern Art here, they showed the film that we did. It was called The Touch, and it was semi-autobiographical of Ingmar, because he married the woman and stayed married for 24 years before she passed away. I recommend to all of you at the Academy, and you can go in, you don't have to be a member, until December 12th, they have an exhibition of his work with amazing interviews with Bergman, who is like unbelievable. When I showed the picture, The Touch, to Robert Altman, he said, "You don't ever have to be better than that." And then Ingmar had said to me, I'm just talking as a human being, one of us. Ingmar said, "How could you be better?" I said, I understand myself now. I don't have to do as much. I don't have to try to impress you. I don't have to try to be good. I just have to be in tune, know what it is that I have to do, know what my job is in relation to what the text is, what the story is, what the composition is. I always had a problem with authority. I don't anymore, but I mean, like I said, I've lived through all of this. And it's always a beginning. It's always a beginning. With Sandy Meisner, who was great. I went to see him because I didn't know I graduated from the chorus to a leading role, and I didn't know about anything, but I had a lot of energy. And my next job was going to be going to London to do a production of On the Town on the West End. And Sandy Meisner said to me, "Don't go. Don't do that. Stay here and study with me." And I thought, that doesn't sound right. You want to work. You want to work. When Bergman called me, I read his piece. I thought, I can't expose my ignorance. I'm making a living for the first time. That's my priority, is to make a living for my family. That's, as a worker, that's what my priority is.